Hi friends, welcome to the Mastermind Moments podcast.
Hosted by your pals, Josh and Sasha.
Join us during our weekly mastermind as we collaborate on how to make the most out of our lives.
Not only are we going to mastermind our careers, we're going to work on all areas of life together.
Let's do it. Listen in as we make the most of our mastermind moments.
Hello.
Hello, Mrs. Claus.
We're here. It's festive time. We gotta bring some joy.
Some festive joy. I love it. It doesn't feel like Christmas here.
I even have my mug.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
That's so cute. You're really in the spirit.
Oh my God, you should see my slippers too. Hold on. They jingle.
No. Wow, you've really gone all out.
Oh yeah, full Christmas mode over here. Like you have to bring joy in this time of year because it's so bleak.
It is so bleak. It is so bleak. Especially, I was saying to my family the other day that in London, it feels like every year the Christmas decorations get less and less. And so
Really?
it just becomes really, I don't know, but maybe it's because of the multiculturalism and they're trying not to offend people. But yeah, so we need people like you to bring the Christmas spirit.
We need spirit. Oh my God. Also, your face looks so slim.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it's also because you shaved your beard, but I'm assuming we'll talk about it, but you're still working out consistently?
Yeah. Still working out. I've just had a week off because incredibly sick last week.
Yeah.
So I actually lost, I think, 2 kg in that week, which is, I don't know what that is in pounds, but it's a lot for a week.
Yeah.
So I guess to put it into perspective, since I started this journey, I've lost in total about 12 kg now.
Let's just see.
Which is a lot of weight in 3 months. But then I've lost two of those in a week.
In
So
how many months?
3 months. It's been 13, 14 weeks now.
That's like 26 pounds. That's significant.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was needed.
Whoa.
I am starting to feel a little bit on the skinny side now, though. So I'm up to eat a shitload over Christmas to continue working out into the new year. I've left my personal trainer now
Okay.
as of a couple of weeks ago because I just felt that I was just getting too skinny. And I don't want to be skinny. I wanted to lose the bulk. I wanted to lose the fat. But I found myself getting too skinny. So I have left my personal trainer. My plan is, as I say, to eat as much as I want over Christmas, over the next few days, and then go into the new year with my own kind of routine. So just,
Yeah.
going to the gym 5 times a week, less cardio than I was doing before,
Yeah.
and just, again, I think more flexibility on what I'm eating as well, so I can have more calories. I don't want to be skinny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We can always like bulk
figure
up
it out.
too. You can always just increase the weight training,
Exactly.
increase the protein vibe.
Yeah, that's also what my personal trainer was gearing towards, was losing, like shedding all the weight and then building it back up with the bulk, building the muscle back up. I can just do that myself. It's easy enough.
Yeah. Easy enough. Yeah. Okay, cool. Good to know. Okay, before we get into it, let's spin a wheel. And I did choose this question by chance. I closed my eyes and stopped the scroll. Okay. Fun and recreation. How do you keep fun alive in your relationships?
In my relationships, plural.
Yeah, maybe it's like different types of relationships.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, we do fun shit.
Good
You
answer.
do fun shit. You go out, you do some cool fun shit, and I think it depends on the friendship and depends on the relationship. Like sometimes the friendships are just fun, just hanging out, chilling, chatting. Sometimes they're fun when you go out and do fun things. Sometimes it's fun when you bring fun energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I think I have the same answer. Is a pretty easy answer, I think. But for me, I think it's all about initiation as well. I think something that I struggled with when I was younger is I would always go to my mum and go, "Oh, my friends are never doing anything. We're never going out." And when I say younger, I mean like as a teenager.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're never doing anything. They never organize anything. She'd go, "Why don't you organize something?" And so she always said that, and I refused to do it because I think it was a confidence issue. But now throughout my adult life, it is something I do. So if I find that my social life isn't as ticking as I would like it to be,
Yeah.
then I will take it upon myself to go and organize things and to reach out to my friends and say, let's do this, or are you free on this date? And actually taking that initiation and that initiative makes a huge difference. And I think is a huge part of the reason why my social life has boomed so much in recent years is because I've taken that initiative and I'm the one that organizes things, because people are just too lazy. People just sit back and they will wait to be invited to things.
Yeah.
So don't be one of those people. Be the person that organizes and pushes things through the door, and you're not going to have that problem.
Let things leave the group chat. You see
Yeah,
this cool thing online you want to go do? Okay, look it up right now and go do it. Or, yeah,
exactly.
let it leave the group chat.
But that's exactly what it is. People talk about, oh, let's do this, let's do that in a group chat. But you need to be the person to actually take it out of the group chat. Someone has to do it. Someone
Yeah.
has to take that initiative. So why not you?
Why the heck not? Why the heck not? Just
Yeah,
take the
exactly.
initiative. Do the thing.
And speaking of taking initiative, so we haven't spoken in a few weeks, right? Have we spoken this month? I don't know. Because we haven't spoken since you've been a Date with Destiny, not
Yes.
on the pod.
The last time we had a chat, we had 3 to 4 recordings in a week. And we had a bunch of different guests on. And that was the last time we had a proper talk. So that must have been like December 1st.
I think it was literally the first week of December, so just before you went away.
Yeah.
You've had Date with Destiny, you've had post Date with Destiny. What's been going on?
It's so crazy because I feel like I haven't had a fucking second. Like I haven't had a second to process, to integrate, to any of it. Maybe I had one afternoon after Day with Destiny. I ended up taking an extra day off of work because Day with Destiny was going until 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, there's no way. There's absolutely zero chance I can get up for 9 a.m. especially. Like I need to process through what the hell just happened for the last week. But honestly, like thinking on it now in general, I don't think I've had a second to stop and to rest or to integrate or to whatever. I feel like since the beginning of Vietnam, like I feel like since the beginning of November, when I was in that spot by myself for 5 days, then I had some like a little bit of downtime. I don't feel like I've had any sort of downtime. And granted, that's just afternoons, right? Like I was still working, I was still whatever. I don't think I've had any sort of rest, downtime, integration time since then. And I'm burnt out, like for real. And burnt out for real on work is absolutely killing me right now. I'm pulling these 12-hour days at least. It's just rough right now. And then Date with Destiny, also coming back to the States, having all that time to do whatever, like admin and getting my shit together. And then Date with Destiny, which was incredible. And then post Date with Destiny, I had one afternoon, maybe 2 hours to go through my notes and be like, okay, what needs to change? What's happening? And then I jumped straight into work. And as soon as I jumped straight into work, it's been really, really, really intense. I came back to work to absolute mayhem, like absolute chaos, like the worst issues I've ever seen since being in this job. And since then, I've just been work. I was in the office all last week, first one in, last one out, every day pretty much, just like really going through it. So that's what's been happening with all of it. As far as Date with Destiny goes, this event, I feel like every time I've gone to an event, pretty much, with the exception of this one, I've left that event with some really concrete, very tangible decisions that I've made, changes I'm going to make in my life, almost like a list of action things that are happening for me to integrate, to change. This was the first time I left an event and I'm like, I didn't make any big dramatic decisions. And also, all of these action items I have they're not so much, oh, I need to make this one big change. They're like shifts in mindset, not so much big changes or big choices that I've made. So leaving and integrating back into life, first of all, I jumped back into the craziness of work. So I'm kind of like, did I integrate anything? Did anything change? Or am I just here trying to survive? And it's like kind of that. And then also the shifts, like, have I made any shifts? Am I dropping in any shifts? I'd say, like, as far as outcome or not outcomes, as far as big learnings, big lessons, like really aha moments, there were so many. Obviously, there were so many a day with Destiny, but I'd say like the big umbrella ones. Number one was the understanding that stress is coming from managing my circumstances and not creating the destiny, like being so in my life. And that's the case, right? With the 4 ongoing to-do lists at all times. I'm just so in the circumstances, trying to maintain the circumstances that I felt so stressed all the time. And a lot of it was, okay, like coming from like living so much in my head and not in my heart space at all. And like, how can I in every moment, or at least as a practice, as a muscle, like drop out of the head and into the heart space, because you can't solve any human problem through the head space, right? And I'm like, well, how do you take fucking action on that? How do you realistically? So that, and then the second one was actually allowing myself space to think about and reflect on what I want in a romantic relationship and partner. And that was, I think I'd just been like percolating on it for so long and like sitting on it for so long that like when I sat down to do it, it like flew out of me and it just like poured out of me. And then it was like, boom, bam, done. And it was just like so clear to me. But yeah, so those are like the biggest takeaways I'd say. And as far as the stress goes, and I think that's my biggest thing right now. And it's okay, I'm coming back in and I'm being tested in terms of like, how are you managing the stress? And I think I'm managing it honestly really well compared to how I would have managed this a couple years ago. Like the last time I had crazy issues at work like this, it's never been to this level. But the fact that it's at this level and I don't feel like, sure, I feel stressed about it, but it's not consuming my life. Like I'm not in tears over it. Like I'm like, okay, this is a great opportunity for my team to see how I manage people, because I've had to have 3-4 people under me helping because the volume's just too high. And I had conversations with my bosses about like where I want to take the role and my goals and my future. So like it's really, and that's also give them the opportunity to see like how hard I'm working and how much I'm grinding, hustling. So it's been great in that way. So like maybe leaving, yeah, I am handling stress better, but it's also just, I feel like I'm ready to shift some things, shake some things, and I don't know, leaving the event, like the to-do, the action items, like every time I've left events, it's just been like, these are the big changes I'm making in my life, and I make those changes and then I'm a new person, but coming, I just haven't, feels like more mindset shifts, and it's how do you,
Yeah. Well, I think these events, it's something that you're used to going into an event and having these big life-changing revelations that you can action when you get back. It's not always going to be the case. And for me, I've had the opposite experience in a way. I don't necessarily go to the events and have these huge breakthroughs, these huge revelations. Sometimes I do, as everyone does, of course. You'd expect it in that environment. But I'm more the other side, where I go away having learned so much about myself and about different techniques and different exercises that I then over time utilize in my life, or over time start to realize how I can utilize that in my life and how that can impact my life. And so I don't think there's any harm in that. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you said about the stress levels and about managing your stress and about coming from your heart instead. And how do you do that? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because it sounds like you are in the process of doing that subconsciously. Maybe it is just a subconscious shift in mindset, and there's nothing actionable that you actually need to do yourself, if as long as you're aware of it.
yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, first of all, the fact that my travel list is gone. Like a fourth of my to-dos are gone. I don't have to deal with travel logistics pretty much anymore. So
Yeah.
that helps a lot. And it's also just a matter of kind of understanding the priorities and I'm like looking at my to-do list right now. I still have four. I still have four. Like one of them's just like now a holiday list instead of a travel list, like the people I need to send things to. But then I look at this list and I'm like, I don't feel overwhelmed looking at them. I'm just like, okay, I know my top priority is work right now. The rest of the stuff will get done when it needs to get done. But for now, it's okay. Like for now, I know my priority is dealing with this challenge these challenges at work, and the rest will happen when it needs to. And that's okay. Like I don't really feel any type of stress around it, but also understanding like that this moment in time, there are reasons for it. I think larger reasons for why I'm going through this right now. Like obviously there are no coincidences, and we've talked about this in life in general, that anything that's happening is meant to be happening in this time, in this moment. And it's being okay with the fact that maybe the reason around it is giving me super, super stressful situations and seeing how I manage it after Date with Destiny and see how I manage it after the year of travel, and giving me the opportunity to see my job and be like, do I like this? Do I like this? Do I want this? And giving my team an opportunity to see my time to shine, even though it's rough. They see me like putting in the work. So I don't know. Yeah.
And but I think it's also important to know that you have the time to do that. You have the time, maybe not the space, especially at this time of year, but you have the time. You're young, and you can figure these things out with time. There's no pressure in that. I think that's a good thing, and I think it's really interesting to see, again, in a very similar way to how this year when so many different things were changing, and obviously it's settling down a bit now. But there's a lot that now things are settling down, you can start to think, okay, this is something that I want to shift, or this is what I need to prioritize moving forward. So, but again, you have the time to do that, which is a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. I would love, I have time to do it. I have the space to do it, and nothing is so urgent that it needs, like the only things that are super urgent that needs to happen, I'm doing. Like the other stuff, it'll happen in its own time, and I have no doubt that everything I set out to do, I'm going to get done. Like I have no doubt about that. It's because I know myself, I know my work ethic, I know whenever I say I'm going to do something, like whenever something's on the to-do list, it'll get done. It might take a while if it's not super urgent, but it'll be okay. Yeah, I'm honestly really there are a lot of things I'm looking forward to, but I think like making these shifts are going to be it's going to be way easier when I'm in a space consistently. I think I'm really, really craving routine, and I know that's my comfort zone, and but I spent the whole year out of it, and I'm kind of like, after a whole year out of it, I'm like, I'm really looking forward to being in one spot, having a regular schedule. And I think implementing these, I always work really, really well in routine. I think implementing these things in my life that'll help me manage my stress and drop into hard space are going to be much, much easier once I'm in a routine. And it's okay. Be able to time block, from this time to this time I'm working on my job, from this time to this time I'm working on my podcast, from this time to this time I'm like, for fun, for life, and have the routines of the movement and the meditation and whatever. I'm really looking forward to that, because it's easier to stay in the practice and in the habits of these positive things you want to do when you're in one space. And I'm really looking forward to it. Granted, when I'm going to be in San Diego for 3 months, and when I'm in that space, sure, like things are going to change, because I'm going to have I can't do much with my nose, like after the rhinoplasty, but I'm really looking forward to just having that time to just get into routine.
To settle.
Yeah.
I think it's really important, and we've spoken so many times over the last couple of years on here about how important it is to have that routine and to have that kind of, but it's something you haven't had for the last year, and you've had the other side of it, which has been very good for you, and you've had a lot of variety. But I think, and I'm not sure if it really comes under certainty, because I was going to say you've had the uncertainty over the last year, and now you're having location certainty to an extent, but you're just having something that you can mold into every day. And I think routine, everyone says it. You read books by incredibly successful people, and they say that routine is everything. And so if you haven't got that routine, you haven't been able to settle into any kind of a mold of a day to day or a week by week, which you haven't for the last year, it's going to impact you in a certain way. And it's going to, I would say, potentially stall things in terms of progress in certain areas of your life. Obviously, you've grown enormously over the last year in certain areas, but I think there are other areas that probably were limited by the fact that you haven't had a routine and
Yes.
a settled kind of routine.
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, it's great that you're going to be getting an element of that, and I think you need to really play into that.
Yeah. I think my health has really suffered. I think my health has really, really suffered with lack of routine for sure. And
Mental
that,
or like overall?
I think mental's been good because of just putting myself through challenges, and that's been feeling really good. I think my physical health has really not, I haven't been able to get on it. Like when I'm in one place and I have the space to do that and the opportunity, I do it. But if I'm not, I don't. And the challenge is like after I get my nose done, I can't work out for a couple weeks, but I can still walk. I can still do that. So I'll probably just walk myself into the ground, which is great. I'll be learning a new city. I can just go plot myself somewhere and just walk, 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 which is what I like to do anyway. I think romantically, the traveling has, because it really enables me. Listen, I could have met somebody who had that same nomad lifestyle or whatever, but that wasn't the intention last year anyway. I wasn't looking for anything. And I wouldn't even say now that I'm like going to actively go look for anybody specifically. But I will say it does set me up, like not having a routine and traveling sets you up for a certain type of romantic relationship. Like it sets you up for that.
Of course.
It sets you up for the vacation flings. It sets you up for the situationships. Like it doesn't set you up for anything that can last. And granted, like I wasn't looking for anything that could last. And actually, you're going to be, I think, really proud about this. I think coming to the realization that I did. I don't know if when I came to this realization. It was like inside the room and outside the room as far as date with goes. But realizing this whole, and this is something we talked about before with this whole like not good enough fear, wound, whatever you want to call it. And we've talked about it a lot on here. But one thing I realized was I was filling that void and that fear and that I was filling that with whatever sort of crumbs of affection I was getting from whatever romantic interest I had at the time. And I had this realization with my therapist that I had never, other than my high school sweetheart, every other romantic encounter I've had has gone from not knowing the person to being romantically involved with them in 10 days or less of seeing them in person. And it's like
Wow.
it's like you give them no opportunity to show you who they are. You give it no opportunity or space to see what the dynamic is, to build any sort of trust, to build any sort of foundation at all. And I would just use these like kind of crumbs of affection. I don't even call it crumbs, but like I'd use these people being interested in me as like fueling that, oh no, you are good enough because people are interested in you. And moving forward, I'm really, first of all, I can't even say it with 100% certainty because I just went out on a date last weekend, but right now I'm not talking really to anybody. I'm not really talking to any, sure, there are people who slide into my DMs and people who are like flirting with me, but I'm not really giving them any mind or attention or really not indulging it. But I haven't really been talking to anybody at all or indulging any sort of romantic things because I'm also set now where I'm like, first of all, I'm not going out and looking for anybody. And number two, I don't really want to I want to break this pattern of just jumping into things, just trying to fuel that, oh no, you are good enough because someone's interested in you. No, I want to just build foundations, take my time, chill out. Like I'm not really, and I had my fun this year and I'm glad I did it. Like I don't regret anyone that I've dated. I don't regret anyone that I've had fun with. I really enjoyed my year. And the thing is I'm still open to casually dating. I'm still open to that, but I'm not going to be jumping in the same way that I was. And a great example is over the weekend, Dr. Leprechaun's best friend. I don't know if we talked about him on here.
I think we have. It rings a bell for sure.
I know I've told you about it, but basically I was like talking to his best friend and we decided not to do anything because obviously we both care about Dr. Leprechaun. We just didn't want to hurt him, and I think it was a respectful thing to do, but we ended up going out, and it's been a long while now since Dr. Leprechaun and I like ended things. That was in April. It's December now, so it's been a while. And like, what, 8 months or something? So his
Wow.
best friend and I went out over the weekend, and we made out, and it was fine, but like I felt after leaving that encounter, I was like, I'm so okay to not pursue anything at all with this. I'm cool. Made out with him, done. Also, like the way he was treating me on the date, I was like, oh, no, not for me. He was treating me like a whole and not like a person, and being very, very pushy. And
Okay.
then I was like, no, you're fun to make out with, and this chemistry and like tension has been fun, but I'm not, like, this isn't right. But
And
yeah.
do you think going back a few months that would have appealed to you more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think yeah, for sure. For sure. I think me a couple months ago just would have went and had fun and entertained it more, but now I'm just like, no. No.
No. Yeah, that's fair. I thought that would be your answer.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been interesting. I've definitely seen shifts and felt shifts, but I'm just kind of, I feel like I don't know, like I spent this whole year traveling, I spent the whole year doing everything, and I feel like there are these shifts that are just about to happen. I feel like the shift romantically has already happened, but I feel like shift work-wise is like about to.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
That's
Interesting.
what's been happening.
And how do you feel about your relationship vision? Because you said it felt easy. Is that kind of what you were saying? It felt easy. It just came out because it's been building up, it's been pent up, and what you want. How do you feel about that kind of reading over it? Does it excite you? What do you feel about that?
I feel really excited about it. I feel really, really excited about it. It was interesting because I remember talking to you on this podcast about that list I was building about everyone I was involved with and the things I liked about them and the things I didn't like about them. And my therapist was saying to me, this list that you've built is so pragmatic. There's nothing in here about how you feel or how you guys interact. These are just character traits. Like, they're not anything, whatever. And that list walked, so my list of Date with Destiny could run, truthfully. And it was funny because, like, in that list, that Date with Destiny, there was not a single thing on there about, like, maybe a handful, but there wasn't a thing on there that was, like, about a personality thing specifically, other than, like, being a dog person. Like, other than that, and, like, caring about your health and fitness, like, more basic level, but it wasn't like, oh, they need to be, like, this type of interest or blah, blah, blah. Like, none of that. It was very much so, like, how is the relationship? What does that relationship look like? Not necessarily, like, what are the character traits of this person? It's what are the character traits of this relationship? And what does that look like? And I feel really good about it, and it feels really very right. And I don't really feel any sort of I don't feel any sort of stress around it at all. I just feel like, for me, I know I'm gonna attract the thing. In order to attract the thing, though, I need to be in the space that can attract that thing. And right now, I don't quite feel there. I feel like I'm gonna feel more there when I'm in routine and, like, working on the things and doing the things that feel good. If that's, like, tapping into my heart space and being more present and managing my stress in a better way and just feeling, like, good in my body and good in my everything. Yeah. I think once that's in play, it'll be much easier. But for now,
Yeah.
not.
This is what people, they say, isn't it, about relationships or romantic relationships, is that until you're ready, until you truly fully love yourself and understand yourself, you shouldn't be in one, or you shouldn't be pursuing one.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're basically just saying, is it'll be much easier when I'm in this certain headspace. And again, that's okay. You're allowed the time to do that, and I think you should absolutely take the time to do that. It's really refreshing and really nice to hear you talking like this, because instead of talking about in a boy crazy way or jumping from thing to thing, you're actually acknowledging that the time to to get to where you want to be or where you should be in a headspace perspective is really important, and that's great to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew as soon as I like said that, I'm like, Josh is gonna be so happy that I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. And not that I'm close to having fun and casually dating. I'm not close to that. I just don't need to be. Yeah. And also something interesting that I've been thinking about too is I still feel like these residual waves of sadness around Monsieur Soixante-Six and that ending and that being done. And like I overall feel so grateful for how it ended and all the things that it taught me and like the divine timing of it all. I'm so grateful for it. But I still feel residual waves of sadness around it. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I remember things with Dr. Leprechaun, and when I ended things, I wasn't that upset for that long. I remember I wasn't upset for that long. I was over it like in a week or so, and I was like, was I over it because I was already talking to other people? Like, was I over it because I already had other people on the roster? Like, I already had other people I was entertaining, and even the whole year, like, I don't think haven't had, maybe there was like a month in there that I wasn't, no, but not even, because I was still talking to Dr. Leprechaun's best friend and like chatting with him. So I don't think there's been a time this year and in life that I haven't had like someone who's, I guess, filled that void and who's given me that like attention in some way. And now this is the first time that I haven't had that. And I'm like wondering if it's like that is giving me more space to grieve through the ending of something because I don't have something else distracting me right now.
Yeah, it's funny because romantic relationships are the only real type of grief where you can just easily replace it with another one to try and help you get through it. It's so dangerous because all you're doing, you're not processing through the grief. You're just replacing it with another layer and then another layer and then another layer. And then it just gets really painful when you have to actually face it. Like it's still there.
Yeah.
But you think about someone dying, you can't just replace that person with another person, right? Whereas you can replace an ex with a new romantic relationship. I think that's why it becomes so dangerous to jump from relationship to relationship or from fling to fling.
Yeah. Completely.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing to do. And I'm happy that I'm not doing it right now. And just going to take some time for myself and to just be with myself, and don't really want to be filling that void. Like I want to be facing, and listen, this is a form of discomfort for me that I want to be tackling it's uncomfortable for me to not have someone in the roster that I'm like chatting with. So learning about myself through that discomfort too, and allowing myself the space to grieve, because I haven't given myself any space to grieve the ending of that. I understand it all so logically, like every single thing that went wrong, I understand it, but I haven't given myself any sort of space to like let it sit.
Let it sit, let it process.
Yeah. I think I did send you, I sent you a voice message about having a dinner with my ex. I don't think we talked about it on here, but that's fine. So you know all about that. What's happening with you? Tell me what's going on. What's going on?
Again, this is one of those recordings where I've jumped on thinking, what do I talk about? Because it's been a while since we spoke. It's been, what, 3.5 weeks. But not a huge amount has been going on, to be honest, as I got really sick last week. And for someone who doesn't get sick very often, it really hits me hard when I do. But I think I said to you at the time, it's probably the sickest I've ever been, like the worst flu I've ever had. It was horrible. Just completely wiped me out. And this was probably a stupid idea, but as part of being sick, I got really, really blocked up, just all over my body. My whole body was just blocked up and it was horrible. So I decided mid-sickness to go and get a colonic. And the reason this is a stupid idea is because obviously a colonic flushes out your system of everything, even the good bacteria in your gut. And so when I'm trying to battle an illness, trying to battle a sickness, and my body needs everything that's in my gut to battle it. I then flushed it out literally at the peak of the sickness. So that made me feel 100 times worse and just completely wiped me out for at least 24 hours, which I think was when we were meant to record last week. So yeah, it's been a rough week. I'm still recovering. I feel incredibly weak. I just got back in the gym yesterday. Um, and it was tough. Like I really struggled to get through it. So physical health has been really poor. And as I said when we started this, I'm finding myself, I think, getting a bit too skinny for my liking. And I know how to fix that. And so I just need to get on track with that. But I think all of these things combined, and I think actually probably the drastic late weight loss possibly contributed to how sick I was as well. I don't know how it works, but I'm sure there is some logic behind that. Um, so yeah, physical health not great. In all honesty, mental health, I've been in a really, really good place. I was gonna say I don't really know why I've been doing so well mentally, but I just feel mentally very strong right now, which for the time of year is unusual for me. I'm It has crossed my mind that in the last 2 years when I've really had bad seasonal depression, I I'm fine at this time of year. As we approach Christmas and New Year, it's a very jolly time of year, and I feel happy to be with my family and excited and feel loved. And it's a good time of year. And it's usually, in my memory, January onwards that I really struggle, really, really starts to hit me. So, like January, February, March, obviously the weather starts to get better, but Jan and Feb are usually two of the most difficult months for me. So it's about equipping myself going into those to deal with that as best as I can, especially with Savita leaving on the 7th of Jan. So that's gonna hit me pretty hard. Obviously, touching on that, we spoke about this previous. I don't remember if we spoke about it on here. I'm pretty sure we did, about just giving it my all for the next month and seeing what happens. Um, and I've been doing that. I've really been pouring everything into the relationship. It's basically been my entire world for the last few weeks, and it's been going really well, to be honest. Like we're in a really good place. I would argue that the last week and a half, 2 weeks have been possibly up there with the best that we've had. And I've really been putting her first, and it's made a huge difference. And it felt really good, I think, for both of us. So we're now 2 weeks away, just over 2 weeks away from her leaving, and it's fucking terrifying considering what a good place we're in. And she bought me this like photo of us, a framed photo. We had our last, we about this actually. So we had our last month anniversary a couple of days ago. And I just went all out, just like you suggested. And I just really treated her as much as I could.
Did you end up going to that party, or did you cancel, or what did you do?
I did. Yeah. So we
Okay.
spoke about this,
Yeah.
and I basically said, listen, I want to treat you to the best 24 hours, take you for dinner the night before, take you out during the day, just have an amazing time with you. Can I go in the evening with this in mind? And she was like, yeah, of course. So it worked out. And it was so worth it. But anyway, for that final month anniversary, she got me this framed photo. And it's been up in the corner of my room, and I see it every time I wake up. And it just fills me with sadness. Like I see it every time, and I just feel like my heart crushing. It's a really hard feeling, and I just know that it's only going to get more and more intense over the next couple of weeks. So yeah, that's shitty, but it's been something that I've obviously been having to deal with for a while now. I then, final thing, really have to think about the plan was that I'm going to go out to see her in March and spend maybe a month and a half or so there in India. And then we were going to figure things out as well, ongoing figuring things out, trying to figure out the visa and what documents we need for that. But I'm in a weird position with work at the moment where I don't know how much longer I can do it for. It is genuinely just sucking everything I have from me. Um, and it's funny because I had an angel reading a couple of days ago. I don't necessarily believe in that stuff. We've spoken about psychic readings before, but my aunt, she does angel readings. And I just reached out to her and I was like, "This is just a curious point in my life where I could do with one of these and just see what she has to say." And she came up with some really interesting things, but the main thing was about work. She said, leave the job. Just leave within a couple of months. Start looking now. By March, you'll have a new job. Um, so that was quite interesting to me because I've been holding off on looking. And where was I going with that? I had an actual point in relation to the angel reader. Yeah, I'm it. Oh, that's what it was. I came to the realization after speaking to her, and I wrote this down in my little quote bank that I've been adding to recently, of doing things, do more things. Oh, sorry. Okay, start again. Fill my life with things that enrich my soul, that nourish my soul, that feed my soul. Don't do anything that sucks my soul. Anything. And I've said this so many times over the last 6+ months, I would say. The phrase, it sucks my soul, it sucks my soul. It's
Yeah.
mostly in relation to work.
Yeah.
I've said it to you, right?
You've
Like,
said this on this podcast multiple times.
I say it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think, the best way to describe how I feel in those moments. And it's not just work that does that, it's mostly work that does that. But something sucking my soul, I just feel like just the richness from my body leaving and my brain, and it's just not a nice feeling. I'm sure you know the feeling of having your soul sucked.
I feel it right
Um,
now.
Talking to me, thanks.
No, with work. But yeah, also with you. Every time I talk to you, it
Just
drains
shut
my
up, Josh,
energy.
you're sucking my soul.
You're draining the energy.
Yeah, so how achievable is that realistically? Like, how achievable is it to actually completely wipe out everything that sucks your soul? Could that be expected? The conclusion I came to was I can identify the things that suck my soul. They're still going to happen. There are still going to be times where something is sucking my soul, but then I can identify that and go, no, I don't want to do that anymore, and replace it with something that enriches me. So I started writing out a list of things that nourish my soul, that enrich my soul. None of them were work related. They were all mostly travel related. I now need to figure out in the next couple of months, however long it takes, how I can move away from a job that sucks my soul every single fucking day and start doing something that nourishes me every day. Again, I don't know how achievable that is, but this also ties into going to India in March, or whenever, again, at some point next year for a couple of months. I don't really want to be doing what I'm doing now from there, because that was originally the plan, was to go to India, work from there for a month, and just do that. But I am in a position now going into the new year, which I feel like I go into every new year, saying to myself, I don't want this for myself anymore, and now is the time to make the change. Yeah, I'm in a position where genuinely every single day my entire well-being is being affected. Every phone call I make at work, it's awful. It's awful, and I don't want to be in that position anymore. But what can I replace it with, and how achievable is it to expect work to nourish my soul? Is work something that you just have to accept that you do from 9 till 5, and it detracts from your well-being? I don't think so. I think that's probably what my mum would say. But I think surely you can do something that feeds your soul.
Yeah, I think so too. And there are definitely, yeah. No, I think it's completely possible to have something that's feeding your soul. And I think in general, we put a lot of pressure on career being the purpose-driven thing that's fueling our fire of life and fueling our soul. And In some cases, that could very well be the truth because it is what we spend a good chunk of our time doing every week. And I think that can be true. And I think it's not true for a lot of people, but I think it can be if that's important to you. And if that's important to you, maybe it looks like that's the other thing too, is they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And I feel like with you and the job, it's been the same cycle for since I've known you, like years, where you hate the job, you find a new job, you do that new job, it's great for a bit, and then you hate it again. And then you swap and you do it all over again. And maybe it's time to shake things up, do something different. Like maybe it's not the industry, maybe it's not the type of role, maybe it's anything else. Maybe I would just, if you're feeling sucked like soul-wise, maybe it just looks like trying something different.
Yeah, so it's interesting you say that. And we've spoken about this in the last couple of months, I think, about a realization I came to that every time I hate a job, I then start to look for another job and I get another job and then I hate it. And it's this cycle. And every time I start to hate the job, I just look for another job, right? Because it actually, for a lot of people, I think job hunting is stressful. For me, I thrive in that environment. I know how to fucking do it. I'm very good at interviewing. I've got a very good resume, very good at job applications. So I don't have any stress when I do that. So actually the job hunt is the easy way out. And this is the realization I came to a couple of months ago, is that it's still within my comfort zone, changing jobs and finding a new job. Whereas the shift I need to make is actually changing that pattern and doing something that I'm not so good at or not so used to and that's not so comfortable for me, which is starting a new business or working on building a business that's already there. So a couple of days ago, I think possibly even since we last spoke, I've added a note section on my phone for to do, and it's like a constant ongoing to-do list. I'm sure similar to what you have, where basically instead of brain rotting and watching YouTube or doing something, playing a game I've been playing Farmville the last few days. It looks like it's 2010 again. So instead of doing things that are destroying my brain, like Farmville, like YouTube, I can go onto this list, onto my to-do list and go, okay, I can do this right now. I can do this. I can do. So I've got things like number one is work on the podcast. And that's why we've seen an uptick in the social media on the podcast, because it's just literally, oh, I have some time to kill this afternoon. Instead of watching YouTube, which is what I would have previously possibly done, I can do this. And so I've got to work on the podcast. I've got to go to the gym. I've got to do something nice for Savita. And then the one I had it literally a couple of days ago, because I had this just feeling of, I'm so done with my job, I fucking hate it, was job hunt. And I kept coming back to the to-do list over the last couple of days and seeing job hunt and going, it just doesn't excite me. Like what? And I did it a couple of times. I went onto the job boards and I was looking at different jobs there that I could look into. And I've been looking at startups, so making the shift from my last couple of jobs, which are big corporate, into startups, so that I can actually have a real impact on what I'm doing or what they're doing and grow with the company, which I don't have the opportunity to do at a big corporate. But I was looking and I was like, this just isn't exciting me. And this is just following exactly the same pattern. It's a cop-out. I know how to job hunt. I log onto the job boards and I feel this comfort within me as I apply for jobs, because it's so easy. It's so easy to do, to just tap, 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 write up a cover letter in my CV. It's easy. So I actually took off job hunt from the to-do list. And now I've only got things on there which are related to actually building a business or a business. I don't want to give myself the option of the easy way out. And I do think that the podcast the idea that I had that we've spoken about over the last couple of months as well, about some form of coaching or growing my personal brand on social media to help people with addiction issues. That's incredibly nourishing for my soul, right? These kind of things, especially the podcast, we're putting out really valuable content, self-development, personal development content. If we can find the right audience, if we can get it to the right audience, we're going to be impacting, hopefully, and helping a lot of people with the things that we talk about. I like to think that a lot of the stuff we talk about is very relatable.
Yeah.
So it's if I'm able to grow a business in line with those values, surely that's the way out. Surely that's the way in, even, because it's like the opposite of what I'm doing now, which has no meaning, no real purpose. I'm just selling for the sake of selling a product that I don't necessarily really believe in. So I think there definitely is a way to do something every day, work that really nourishes your soul. But I think I just have to work to get there. And
Yeah.
that's probably what scares me. I think it's the daunting task of the work to get there. And you have to work to earn it, right? Nothing good comes without hard work and effort.
Yeah.
And that's what I need to do. I have to be putting in the work and the effort, the extra effort on top of a job hunt to get myself there, or it's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
It's a very refreshing shift that I'm hearing. Just super refreshing. Try something different. Like, you're used to the job hunt, you're good at it, and it's every time it's the same thing, and it's not fueling you. Sorry. Unless you found something that would make sense, and that made sense in maybe a different industry, maybe a different size of company, maybe a different role, maybe like whatever. But just try something different, because at the end of the day, like, it's been this endless cycle for years now. But you're right, and nothing good comes without hard work, and you got to put in the work, you have to put in the experience, because wisdom doesn't come through thinking about things. Wisdom comes through experience, learnings, through trying and failing and learning the lessons. So very much so that. And I don't know, it sounds like an exciting shift. And
I think also the wisdom thing, again, I'm sure it's something we've spoken about before, about how people go on these courses, these personal development courses, or they spend hours and hours watching, consuming self-development content on YouTube and online. And I've absolutely done that. I've done that enormously, especially over the last couple of years. There's been so many times I've come on here and I've said, oh yeah, I saw a YouTube video the other day that said this, or I saw a reel the other day that said this. And I'm literally quoting reels. How sad is that? But you have to take action. And the best way to learn, yes, you can have these bits, these nuggets of wisdom that you learn on Instagram or on YouTube to give you a bit of to help expedite the process and to make it faster and to give you that knowledge to make it easier. But the best way to learn is by actually doing it. The only way to really learn is by doing it. And for understanding your way of working, and it's all well and good being told what to do by Tony Robbins, but only you really understand how your brain functions and the best way for you to do things. And so you're the only one that can learn from your own mistakes. So I have to take the action myself, stop consuming and start creating, and start learning off the back of that.
I'm so excited. And I've been loving seeing the reels. I've been loving seeing the momentum. It's been incredible. It's just the best thing ever. I love it so much.
Yeah, no, it's good, and it feels good to monitor the engagement, which it's very up and down, but it's nice. It's nice, and it feels like I'm building something. And I think, again, if you look at where we started with the social media, the quality of the content has definitely got better. It's a very different type of content, what I'm posting now to what I was before.
Yeah.
With time and with extra effort, I'm only going to learn how to make it better.
Completely. And that's the thing, is you do it and then it's not perfect. Like, all the social media, I've been putting out my podcast for years now, and there's still things that I'm like, oh, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better. But it's always, as long as you're putting it out, the improvement and the innovations happen over time.
Exactly.
Don't wait till
the
something's
only
perfect.
way, yeah, exactly.
The only way is to actually
you
do
can
it.
learn is by doing it. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so excited about it. So we'll catch you guys next week on Mastermind Moments. And yeah, happy holidays, y'all. Okay, bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review, and follow along on social media.
If you would like us to help you mastermind something in your life, please send us a message.
We'll see you next week on the Mastermind Moments podcast.